with a medium, that's an oil medium, just to wet the canvas. And I added a little bit of paint with my 1-inch brush. This is mauve and this is turquoise, and I just danced it in and I spread it out, and you can just have fun with that, you know. However you do, it's going to come out just right. So let's spend our time on these flowers. Let's see, should I tell you what they are, or should they be mystery flowers for a while? Okay, let them be mysteries for a while. Let's put in the greenery. That's a good place to start. I've got a 1/2 inch flat. And I always pick up a little bit of medium. I'm going to come into sap green, ultramarine blue. I'm just kind of pulling them together with the brush. Nice neat load. And somewhere we got to throw in some leaves. I just throw in a little color first, and then I'll add my strokes. 1, 2, 3. Everybody's tired of hearing me do this. 4, 5, 6. Get a little leaf. Okay, well, let's do a whole lot more. Let's do one right there. Let's take this leaf apart and think about how it's made. Once I get my color in there and I know which direction I'm going into, you could be thinking of a diamond. I want you to know that Squirt's behind the canvas. I don't know what he's doing, but it's pretty scary. Lord only knows. Okay, see the little diamond shape? So you know that your first brush stroke is going to be right there. And always pull back towards the stem. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Give a little stem. Okay, so that's the anatomy of the leaf. Now I do that in my mind, you know. I am doing that all the time in my mind. I just don't draw them in. Here's 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Once in a while you get a little raggy. You know, I'm picking up, I made some brown with sap green and alizarin crimson. And I'm just picking up a little bit of that with my green and whatnot. We might as well throw a little extra color in there. And there's my strokes. Oh, there he is. He's peeping out the back over here now. Squirt's my African gray parrot. He's a lot of fun. He's company in my studio. Keeps me company when I'm working by myself. I always work by myself when I'm doing my own practice and such. But he comes to all my classes too. He loves that the most. You know, I really think that he's got this thing. He just loves, well, he loves to tease people, I think. So when the studio's full of students, he's just happy as can be. He's got an audience. Oh, you down here now? Can you see this little guy peeking out here chewing on things? Okay, now we'll remind everybody this is picture number 25, right? Picture number 25. And if you send me a stamped self-addressed envelope, I will send you the directions, you know, the color mixes and the brushes to use, and you can give it a go. Once you get the knack of these little leaves, you're going to love them. And you're probably going to get bored with a plain ordinary leaf, and you're probably going to want to do all kinds of other things, you know, little fancy leaves. So we'll get to that. We'll get to fancier leaves soon, I think. It should have a few little ones. And this is going to be a bud up there. Might as well give it a stem. And this is a bud right there. We gave that a stem. Boy, see how fussy I am? Not. Say, I want you to relax too. Leaves should overlap, so force yourself. You know, really have to force yourself. Oh, overlap. Boy, there's an overlap right there. Oh, now you're going to chew the sign. Oh, sure, chew the sign. Oh, please. Oh, you're going to take the sign down altogether, huh? I see. You're going to be a Dickens. Why don't you just come back up here and talk to us? I have a peanut, you know. If you were on your perch, I'd give it to you. A fat chance. All right, let's throw, you know, I'm going to pick up just a little speck of cad yellow and put it into my green mix, and we could get a little lighter on some of these leaves. Well, there goes the sign. Okay, so you better remember picture 25, because I don't think the sign's going to be up there for long at all. No, I guess not for long at all. All gone. All gone sign. Put a little greenery here. And how we doing here? Okay, let's just highlight some of these leaves and get on to the flowers. Now what I want to do is add a little bit of highlight to those leaves. The highlight I'm going to add in the back, I kind of like turquoise, but don't use too much of it. A little medium, a little floral turquoise, and you just grab the end of the leaf and like just hit the tip of the leaf. Gotta run that brush through the paint almost every time you hit, otherwise nothing happens. Okay, so a little medium, a little turquoise, and we'll get this back one. Doo-doo. And we'll get this front one. Now we can really see that it's there. So now that you've teared down the sign, Squirt, and you're content just to watch me work, huh? Cause your destruction for the day. I think you're not going to get your peanut unless you get back on your perch. So florals, we've been having a lot of fun with florals, and they're really catching on. And so I want you to give it a try. You might just love it. Once you get a little success at them, you do love them. Then trust me. Okay. And let's see, not there. Pick and choose, pick and choose. Do, 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 do. Okay, now we could highlight some of these ones up front, and I think I'll just take, well, I had cad yellow and green. Remember I had that little light color? Let's try that. And, oops, restroking, not good. Every time I highlight or you know, restroke a leaf, you have to come outside of the stroke you made before. Outside. So the leaves kind of get bigger. They get just a wee bit bigger all the time. But this is your opportunity to fix some strokes you didn't like. Now all the strokes on the leaves, remember, they angle back towards the back of the leaf, the stem. Aim towards the stem. That's the trick. Aim towards the bottom of the leaf, the stem at the bottom of the leaf. And let's get this little guy. I can hardly see him. Oh, now he really stands out. And this little guy. Doo, doo, doo. There he is. Okay, now we got lots of time to play with our flowers. Okay, so I might as well I'll tell you now. We don't have to keep you in suspense. They're going to be sunflowers. Sunflowers are fun and sunflowers are easy. Okay? I'm cleaning my brush a little. I'm going to go into cadmium yellow. I'm going to underpaint these flowers. Cadmium yellow and lots of medium. First we're going to put a wet soupy paint on them. The outside edge, ooh, that's very soupy. I'm going for the outside edge. Got to have paint. The green's going to come into this paint. I just know it's going to happen. So let it. Guess might as well, don't worry about that. And this little guy, might as well make him a little bigger. Right into the greens, right into the everywhere, 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 everywhere. Maybe way out there too, maybe way out there. Loosey-goosey, don't worry about a thing. Let's get this yellow in the rest of the flowers before we change color. So this one, okay, and just kind of loosey-goosey scrub it in. You're going to pick up green, it's going to jump right back in on you. We don't care. We don't care. Right, Squirt? Do you care? He's back there. I'm telling you, he's back there. Scares me to death when he's back there. I never know what he's going to do. Oh, there's a little bud. A bud up here. Might as well. A bud. Okay, that's fun. See how freewheeling and fun you can be with these? Oh, another bud. Make that bud a little bigger. And there's another one here. Oh my goodness, we got buds everywhere. Cadmium yellow, medium. Okay, so we got a little undercolor. Now I got some more undercolor to do with these guys. I've got cadmium red medium. That's a very brilliant red, and I got lots of thinner medium in it, lots of oil in it. And that goes on the inside of this wash. Yeah. So it'll be there when I want it there. God, see how careful I am? I want you to relax, to no, don't worry about a thing. This is just the underpaint. Maybe I need a little of that in here too. And maybe I need a little of that in there too, for later, for later. Oh, now he's at the top of the canvas. I see. I see. Such a busy little fellow. You are such a busy little fellow. Can I get this flower down up here? Okay. Gee, let's go for the centers. Get them out of the way before we do our petals. Now the centers, I have mixed up some brown. It's a nice warm brown. I made it with alizarin crimson and sap green. So I've got some of this nice warm brown and I'm mixing it with a little black. So we got a real dark. We got a real dark. And that's going in the center. Kind of, you can tap it in if that works better for you. And I'm thinking of a nice little oval shape here for this center. Tap it in works good. See, that's a sunflower, and that's the center of the sunflower. That's easy to figure out. Okay, let's do that on the other big one. The other big one has a bigger center because it's looking at you a little more. Yeah, it's winking at you right there. So we'll give it a bigger one. Tap, 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 tap. Brown and black. And there it is, there it is, there it is. Has a center. Has a little center. Those guys don't, we're okay on those guys. I should highlight the center. I'm going to use the same brush. I just keep wiping it off, that's all. This is cadmium red light. It comes out looking sort of like an orange. And I'll try tapping. I guess I got to get more paint on there because this is thick paint. Doesn't want to stick now. So I hope you've been painting. You know, if you want, they say if you want to be happy for one day, you get married. And if you want to be happy for 3 days, you get drunk. But if you want to be happy the rest of your life, you should be painting. Or gardening, actually. That's part of the saying. You should grow a garden. But painting is just as good. When you're doing something you love to do, you know, every day, it's just fun to get up every day. Something creative. So I just tapped in that color. That's my little highlight on the middle. Okay, now we're into petals. We're gonna have a ball making petals. I am gonna switch to my filbert brush. It's a perfect brush for making petals. So what should we do? Want to start with the buds first and get them out of the way? A little bit of medium. I've got a couple of shades of yellow I'm working on. One I mixed cad yellow with a little alizarin. And one I mixed cad yellow with white and a little alizarin. And then I've got cad yellow and just white. So I got some things going. I'm going to put in the little back petals first. Gee, you got to have a little paint on the brush or nothing happens. Never fails. The brush makes the petals. The filbert brush is wonderful. And remember what I say, don't tell it all. There's not that many petals you're going to see. Loosey-goosey, just throw a few in there. This way and that, this way and that. That's easy. Now let's add some light ones. I'm going to go for a little lighter shade. And they're going to curve around at the top somewhat. So get ready for that. Around the top of the bud. Because this little bud is just thinking about opening up. Okay, now we all overdo the petals, and I might be a borderline case right now. Okay, somebody stop me. Let me wipe off my brush. The last thing I want to do to that little guy is put on a nice little light spot. So I'll go for my cad yellow and white. This ought to be pretty shocking. But yeah, that's what I want. Just a few that sit right up front there and jump out at me. Right, Squirt? Okay. Okay, somebody stop me. Good enough, good enough. Let's go for those other guys. I'm going to start with a darker shade of cad yellow and alizarin for the back petals mostly, I'm thinking. And here and there, loosey-goosey. Don't tell it all. Might be a few coming here and there, and here and here, and here and here. Let's switch to the medium shade. Throw a few more in, here and here. I'll make this one a little more closed. We'll just pick up on those. Ooh, big chunk. It's nice to take time and load your brush neat. I'm not known for neat, but it's a nice thing to do. If you have the time, you might want to load your brush nice and neat, because you'll get better results. Okay, there's a happy little bud. Let's get the other bud done. Start with the darker shade first. We'll get a little more excited with this one. Let's make this one kind of almost closed right up. And we'll start with the medium shade. And the last thing we'll do is add a little lighter stuff. This is just plain fun. That's all there is to it. Just plain fun. Okay, remember I said you're not to add 1,000 petals. After you put them in, I want you to remember I said don't add 1,000 petals like I just did. Okay. 3. Now let's work. These are the most fun to do now that we've gotten this far. Before I put my petals on, I'm going to go into some of that brown I mixed up. It's a nice warm reddish brown. I got my liner, and I'm going to pull up some little tiny like stamens, because they're there. In fact, I might have to do it again after I do my petal work. Okay, well, I'll put that aside. I know I'm going to come back and do that. The back, let's see, we'll start with our darker color and our filbert brush, and loosey-goosey, this way and that, and this way and that way and this way. I guess it helps to talk to yourself, this way and that. Might as well tell the family ahead of time that you're going to be here working, talking to yourself, so they already know what's going to happen. This is my painting corner, and when I'm talking to myself, just leave me alone. Yeah, you can really have a wonderful time. I'm putting these petals in over the bottom flower, you know, but when I go to the bottom flower, I'm going to go right over them. So, ooh, a few of these. So, this way and that, and this way and that, and this way and that. Oh, boy. You just head towards the center of the flower all the time. Oh, that didn't do us any good. Gotta have paint on the brush, right? And this way and that. Oh, I'm having a wonderful time. So this is a soft oil paint designed especially for florals. And we clean up, and I use a lot of medium, that's an oil to thin it down, so that I get a nice silky effect when I'm going for some color. And we clean our brushes with an odorless thinner. Make sure it's odorless or your family will leave the house. They won't stay. Okay, so let me come back in and do some more of that little stamen work back here, which is what I wanted to do in the first place. Ooh, how cute. And then there's always some petals that flip up, I'm thinking. So I'm going to load with a light shade and just think flipped up petals. Flip up, flip up. We're at the stage we have to reload the brush every time we come with a hit, or nothing will happen. So let me remind myself of that. The brush picks up the dark color underneath, and then it doesn't want to work for you. So you got to pick up nice, fresh paint every time. And this is where the paper towel comes in handy. You have to keep wiping that brush. Because I try to get 2 hits, you notice. It doesn't work. You notice. Got to wipe the brush, come in with some paint. Okay. So we got a few flip-ups. And a few little guys just standing there, little foreshortened things. So see how loose this is? Loose is good, because if you stay loose, 1, you're going to have a good time. 2, your flowers are going to look better, trust me. Now I'm putting some petals on the bottom one now. Yes, Squirt. Just picking up some color here and there, petals. Don't make them all little soldiers. Make them have a life of their own back there. Be happy. Oh, now he's sitting up top. Now he's up top talking. I can't give him a peanut now because he's going to drop the shells on me. It just isn't going to work. Loosey-goosey, throw them in. You don't even need this many. I get carried away. There's no stopping me. Okay, stop me. Oh, it's the goodness. Let's pick up those little stamens in the back before we get to the front. Do 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 do. I love those little guys, and they're easy to do. It's probably why I love them. Now a few flip-ups. Remember the flip-ups in the front? I got a little more white in this yellow now. I guess they should be brighter. And I guess I better wipe the brush off between flips. And this way and that. You got to tell yourself that, because you really like to be neat. I know that, because I've been there. And everybody likes to make every little petal the most perfect petal in the world. And it just doesn't get you anywhere. Well, get you a heart attack maybe. So let's tell ourselves, perfect doesn't count. They need to go every which way. There's no doubt about that. Every which way imaginable. Okay, somebody stop me before I get in trouble. Okay, every which way imaginable. All right, now we got some time to really play a little bit, which is my favorite thing. I've got this brown I made, and I've got it really thinned down with medium. That's your oil medium. And I got my little script liner. I loaded that really nice. I got lots of paint in it. And I love these little guys. Shake a little like you're making a little twiggy. Give it a few extra things. And I don't know what you call these, but I love them in florals. They're my little, I don't know. Give it a few extra little things, little curlicues or whatever. I love putting these things in. Go right over a leaf. Don't let that leaf scare you, because if you don't do that, everyone's going to know that you want to round that leaf. Yes. Oh, a few of these guys. It maybe goes this way. This is just filler, you know. This is my filler. I finish off my painting. This is one of the things I use. And there might be some up here. It's the shaking that does it for you. Just the way we did twiggies in landscapes, you know. And you're building on your composition too. You're thinking of your composition, and if you see little weak spots, you just Put a little fill in it. They're called doofers. Do for anything. Get you out of trouble. Of course, it could get you in trouble if you do too many. Let's see, kind of pleasing. I'm going to just put a few more of those in there before I call this picture done. You can go right over a bud. Let's go right over that bud. And put this little guy in here. Whoops, let's make that neater. And make that neater. Now that was fun and easy. So, but just remember to relax and just put petals everywhere. You don't even need too many, but every which way with your filbert brush. Great brush for petals. So that's our sunflowers. We're going to do more. Make sure you're watching. We're not done with flowers yet. Flowers are lots of fun. You're going to have a good time. So thank you for watching. Happy painting. This is painting number 25. You send me a stamped self-addressed envelope. The address is coming up at the end of the show. Say you want 25 and I'll send you the directions, and then you can be practicing at home. So bye-bye for now. Happy painting.